What is up, Pdub Nation? Another monster week in the NFL. We're back with another Pdub report. We're going to touch a little bit on baseball to get things going today. Scott, how we feel? Another monster week in the NFL. MLB playoffs. First day of that was in the green. Gotta love how we're moving right now.
I'm feeling good, nice and loose. The brand, hey, first of all, 100,000, thank you. 100K, we hit on Instagram. I want to thank everybody before we get into the show. Big accomplishment there, but it's because of you guys. We do it for you guys. We're doing this for you guys. So, again, let us know in the comments if there's anything that you want us to touch on or want us to see in the future. We're doing it for you. So, 100,000, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all you guys who've been tuning into this, and of course for all the followers on Instagram. Obviously, this show is mainly NFL focused, but MLB playoffs are here. We're going to start off with the segment talking about World Series futures, World Series matchups. If you guys are interested in our thoughts on all these wild card and ALDS, NLDS games coming up this next week, make sure you tune in to the rapid fire breakdowns. We're posting those on YouTube, typically up by 11, 12 Eastern, the latest. So make sure you guys check that out. But let's get it started here. A little bit of baseball talk before we dive in the NFL. World Series matchup predictions. Scott, I heard it earlier. Why don't you go ahead and tell them again? What are we looking at here? I liked your read on this. I really do.
I love it. I love this read. I'm going my Padres. I'll be at the game tonight. So we got a Padres Guardians matchup plus 4,500 with the Padres winning the World Series. Now, check it out. Padres, hottest team in the Major League Baseball, 43-20 in the second half. They go and get three massive, important relievers in Jason Adams. They got Jason Adams, Martin Perez as a starter. They picked up Brian Hodnick and Tanner Scott. So key pickups in the relief for them. They're looking real strong. Bats have picked up. Now the Guardians on the other side, obviously, they're going to have some tough cooking if they end up playing the Yankees. But I love the way they play ball. They have the best relief staff in Major League Baseball. Clase's got a .61 ERA, I believe, to close out any game. I like the way they play. Small ball. They do the right things. You got Steven Kwan leading off, getting on base all the time. Give me that matchup in the series. Ben, what are we thinking?
We're lined up on one of those sides. I do think the Padres come out of the NL, so we're both on that read. If you guys want to place that bet, it's plus 390 for the Padres to be your National League champs. However, I do have them losing in the World Series, and I do have it against the New York Yankees. Now, I'm a bit of a Yankees fan. It's not a homer pick. I promise you guys that. If you guys have kept up with any of my content for the last 6-7 years, you guys have heard me bash on the Yankees time in, time out. I bet against them more than I bet on them. I said before this season, this is the most realistic chance they've had at a World Series, and I still believe that. Best record in the American League. They come in with arguably the best starting rotation in the American League for the playoffs. Some bullpen question marks, absolutely. But, hey, that murderer's row you have, that front five of that lineup, as good as anybody in Major League Baseball. We'll see what they get out of some of the starting pitching. Garrett Cole's looked a lot better down the stretch. As far as San Diego, I mean, the pitching staff, shout out Michael King, former Yankee, what he got done yesterday. I love the matchup in the World Series. You got the Soto trade, the Yankees to the Padres, both get there. You got the narrative storylines to it. Both teams going to have their work cut out for them, obviously, but that is my pick. Yankees in 6 games over the Padres to be your World Series champs.
Are we going to call it, Ben? That's a square pick, baby. Square pick, but it could be the right one. It could be the right one. I don't fault it, but I would love to see the Guardians match up with those Yankees in the ALCS, and we'll have to bet something on that. That'll be a lot of fun.
For those of you guys who are new to me, I promise it's not always square future picks. All right, last year I had the D-backs heading into the playoffs. Okay, and that almost panned out. We were right there.
He's 100% right there. I'm just giving him a hard time.
That's the MLB for you guys. Like I said, we are breaking down all these games. In fact, if you guys go and look, this will probably be posted either before or after today's breakdown. We touched on Thursday Night Football. We touched on the MLB wildcard games going on or whatever's left, depending on what happened today with all the game 2s and wildcards. So make sure you guys check that out. Scott, now we got the fun stuff. The NFL. Things have been red hot. What was it? 7-2-1 last week. Another big Sunday, big Thursday. These Mondays kicking us sticks in a little bit, giving us a hard time here.
Yeah, they are. But wow, Thursday, Giants, we squeaked one out there with the New York Giants on Thursday night. Then we go 6-0-1 on Sunday. Just a beautiful slate we went teaser. We went a little alt parlay this week. Rams, Colts for our 10-unit play of the month. Got to the window. And then Monday, I put trust in Tyler Huntley. I talked about it on the Daily Show, and that was the wrong move. I went Dolphins money line, but I also put Dolphins in the teaser with the over in the Seahawks-Lions game. 0-2 Monday. Plus 15 units, plus $1,500 to the $100 better. People are making a lot of money with our NFL picks. Really excited and to move forward. I'm ready for week 5.
Yeah, before we get into some of this week 5 business, a lot of these first few weeks we've been talking about the recaps of the weeks itself, some of these matchups. We're going to do a broaden out a little bit, but we're going to go through our top 5 teams that we each have. So we don't know what each other has listed. We don't know, who has what. So we'll just go back and forth. We'll start with number 5. Scott, who is your 5th best team in the NFL right now?
So I wanted to talk about the NFL rankings. This is where they're at before. Let's set the stage for the NFL. We got the Vikings at number 1, the Chiefs at number 2, the Lions, the Bills, and the Texans at number 5. So the number 1 team to win the Super Bowl is the Vikings, plus 1,400. The 7th, according to the sportsbooks or DraftKings, they're the 7th. They have the 7th best chance to win the Super Bowl. They're ranked number 1. So let's get that out of the way. But I have them at number 5. I don't have them at number 1. There's still some questions out there for me. Is Sam Darnold the real deal? Is he going to be able to lead this team, down a playoff stretch when he gets into the playoffs? I got him at number 5. They are playing well. Here, we just talked about this before the show. They are the worst pass defense in the NFL, giving up 274 yards per game, but they are the number 1 team in terms of turnovers. So does that continue? They can't continue to give up yards and chunk yards like that and continue to win ball games. So I got them at number 5.
I'm right there with you with the Vikings. Not at number 5 on my list, but as far as what you're seeing with them, I do have them on mine. My number 5 team is the Houston Texans. Now, they did take a little bit of a dip in that week 3 loss where they got crushed by your Vikings. Part of the reason why I have them higher on the list. But Houston, man, I mean, this team looks really good. We saw it last year with the development of C.J. Stroud. They come back, defense a bit better. A little bit of a sweaty game in the divisional matchup against Jacksonville, but they ended up pulling out the W nonetheless. Shout out to those of you guys who tailed that, by the way. Jags plus the 7. Pdub free pick of the week. Cash that. But yeah, Texans are my 5th best team. Big part of it as well is their division. I mean, just embarrassing. The Colts underperforming. Jags, the only winless team. And Tennessee Titans, I mean, they sneak out a win against a bad Miami team Monday night. But rest of the division, it's going to be a cakewalk for Houston. Big part of the reason why I think they're going to be a problem later down the stretch.
I like it. They didn't make my list. I'm not big on the tech. I'm not big on them, but I don't have them in the top 5. I can see why you got there, but they've had some close games, and I mean, to be honest, they should have handled the Jags comfortably. I didn't see it obviously happening, but number 5, I get you on board there, but I'll go on to number 4. You're gonna be surprised by this. I think everybody's gonna be surprised by this. Sportsbooks have them listed as the number 1 team to win the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I got them in a little trouble spot. Yeah, they're 4-0. We're going to talk about this in the next segment, but they've had some close games. Now with the Rashid Rice news, I think they may be in a little bit of trouble. Now, how do you say a team's in trouble when they're 4-0? But I've got them listed as number 4. The defense is obviously there, but these games have been close, and they could have gone either way. We talked about this on another show. They could be 0-3 right now. So
they could have.
I know they got Mahomes, obviously, but I got them listed as a number 4 team.
Your number 4 team's the reigning AFC champs, the Super Bowl champs. My number 4 team's the reigning NFC champs, San Francisco 49ers. Shout out Brock Purdy. I'm as low on Brock Purdy as anyone could possibly be the last couple of years. I will say he's been moving up my QB rankings in the league this season so far. What he's done with what he has, a lot better. It is looking like Christian McCaffrey could be out for the rest of the season with the Achilles tendons. The injuries on this team is the only reason why they're not higher. They've been a top team in the NFL for going on 3 years now. So I do think of the Niners very highly, but with all the injuries, I'm going to put them on a hold stop there with that 4 spot. Granted, a couple of tough losses. The one with the Rams, both teams depleted. They lose to Minnesota, but we're just talking about it. Minnesota now really looking like one of your better teams in the NFL on both sides of the football. And yeah, so Niners are sitting currently on my 4 spot. They get healthier, they could climb that list.
Gotcha. We're going to go to number 3, Ravens. Smack the Bills, Sunday Night Football. Ravens moving up the charts. Yes, they have a bad loss at home to the Raiders early in the season, but they're learning that offense, the Henry, the Jackson dynamic. Things are starting to turn. I don't know if you saw this, though. Henry's speed, he's an older guy, but I think his speed was like way up there with he was that short of worthy in terms of speed, like up to 20-some miles an hour, whatever.
Crazy.
It's crazy. The Ravens, plus 800 to win the Super Bowl in terms of DraftKings. They weren't on the top 5 list by the NFL. They are my number 3 team.
Yeah, if you guys don't follow the Instagram account, NFL Memes, make sure you go check it out. Some good laughs, but there's a whole carousel of memes about that chase down the Henry run, and it's hilarious. And the Bills secondary trying to catch him. Good stuff there. Number 3 team for me is the Minnesota Vikings. I have them the best team in the NFC right now. Love what I'm seeing on both sides of the football. Shout out Sam Darnold. I think they're just the most complete team. Now, part of the reason why I can't have them higher on this list is because they don't have a true top 10 quarterback. And if you guys haven't realized, it's a quarterback-driven league. Over the last 20 years, you're not winning a Super Bowl without a top 10 quarterback unless you're the Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, pulling one out of your ass with a really loaded roster. So I don't think Minnesota can be in the top of teams without the star quarterback, but all the credit to Sam Darnold, all the credit to that team for what they've accomplished. They just keep getting it done, and we'll see if they can do it again off in London against the Jets.
Like it. We're going to number 2. I don't know if you're going to be surprised by this. I got the Detroit Lions at number 2. They looked great this week. Here's my biggest concern with them is on the defensive side of the ball. But the offense is definitely clicking. The NFL's got them ranked number 3. The sportsbooks have them ranked number 5 at plus 1,000 to win the Super Bowl. I like what I'm seeing out of Campbell. I like what they're doing offensively. They need to have a better scheme on the defensive side of the ball. But I've got the Detroit Lions, number 2.
Don't have them on my top 5, but my number 2, Baltimore Ravens. I have this team coming out of the AFC. I've had them coming out of the AFC all season long. I had them winning the Super Bowl last year. If it wasn't for a Zay Flowers fumble, maybe they get there. This team, we just saw them absolutely manhandle Buffalo. They were a likely black cleat away from winning that game, being 3-1. They blew a lead against Vegas. They've been in every single game, even a couple of losses. And I just think they're getting a big break here with some of these teams in their division, how much they're underperforming. Baltimore, we saw with Henry. I'll be interested to see. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Some of the murmurs around if they make any moves to vamp up this team any further. But talk about a complete team, both sides of the football. All credit to what's going on with Harbaugh and this Baltimore Ravens team.
Like it. I'm trying to figure where you're going with number 1. I'm thinking it's got to be the Chiefs. You didn't say the Chiefs yet, right?
Haven't said the Chiefs yet.
All right. I'm trying to figure out. You're going to be surprised by mine.
Who's got number 1,
San
Scott?
Francisco 49ers.
Ooh.
Wow. My free bet of the week. What? With all the injuries, how can I go to the Niners as number 1? That is my point. They have all these injuries. I know the CMC news is questionable. We don't know what's happening with him, but they get Ayuk back. They get Tafunga back. They get some of their other defensive members that are out. They're a force to be reckoned with. I'm telling you, guys, at 2-2, this is the best team in the NFL as they get some of their injuries back. And I'm making this prediction throughout the season. At this point where I see the Niners come in at the end of the year, I see them as your Super Bowl champion. Plus 650, San Francisco 49ers.
I don't mind it. I told you it would have been higher on my list if they were healthier. It's kind of a problem with my number 1 team here, Kansas City Chiefs, with the Rice injury. Now, some of you might think that's a square pick, number 1, and maybe it is, but guess what? They are 2-time Super Bowl champs, undefeated 4-0 start. They get injuries. Pacheco goes down. Rice goes down. It doesn't matter. They find a way to win games. Arguably the toughest schedule to start the season with the Ravens and the Bengals off the bat. Doesn't matter. They pull out those games. A lot of people are going to try to get cute, try to act like they're not the best team in football, try to get optimistic. It's someone else's turn. Hell no. Kansas City Chiefs run this football league. I hate to say it. It's the truth. 4-0 team, 2-time Super Bowl champs. It is their mountain. They stand on top until someone knocks them down, and no one's knocking them down anytime soon.
I have a hard time getting there. Obviously, I had them as number 4 just because the games have been so close. White cleats in game 1 could have been a tie game. Bengals sneak by the Bengals with a 1-point victory. Game 2, handle the Falcons by a 5-point margin in game 3. So we'll talk about that right now. But yeah, the Chiefs, I figured you went that way.
Yeah, I got to give them the credit. They deserve their flowers for where they're at this point. And I agree, it's been some sloppy losses, but that's just Brady, Belichick, New England Patriots dynasty all over it. It's not always pretty, but they get it done. And Kansas City, no matter how you want to cut it, they keep getting it done year in, year out, game in, game out. It's truly impressive.
That was my somewhat picture of a square. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see it. All right. Whatever. Undefeated in Survivor. I have another dog for you guys.
There we go.
How square I am. Moving on to this next segment. Like you already teased a little bit here. We got 2 4-0 teams in the NFL now. Actually, before we even go to that, neither of us said Buffalo. I mean, we just both low on Buffalo. Is that where we're thinking there? I mean, let's just touch on that really quick. I'm sure a lot of team people have that in their top 5.
Yeah, the NFL rankings have them at number 4, and so does DraftKings at number 4 plus 900. Yeah, I'm low on Buffalo. I love Josh Allen, but I mean, that Sunday night game was a telltale sign. I mean, yes, they went into Miami, but Miami is Miami. and they handled them on, was that Monday night? But yeah,
Yep.
not pretty low on Buffalo. I've got them 7-8 slot right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That was just the first true test, and Baltimore absolutely exposed them. But on to this next two segments, speaking of exposing, who's it going to be? Vikings or Chiefs? Couple of 4-0 teams. Who drops an L first? Scott, why don't you let me know? Who's getting that first L here?
I got them both potentially losing this week, so I don't know if I can answer your question appropriately.
Ooh.
So we got the Vikings. We got the Vikings Jets in London this week. Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go into his prop later on, but I see a potential very close game here. I mean, I do. The line says, oh, what's the line? 2.5?
Yep, 2.5.
I believe it's 2.5. You got a 4-0 Vikings team with a 2.5 point spread. Sportsbooks have it just like Pdub does. It's going to be a close game. And then you got the Chiefs at home against the Saints. Another potential loss. Yes, the Saints did get exposed a little bit, but again, what was that against the Eagles? They got exposed 2 weeks ago, but I mean, it's going to be a good game there. What's the spread there off the top? You know what the spread there off the top of your head?
5.5 for that Saints Chiefs game.
5.5.
Might have moved down to 5. I'm pretty sure it's 5.5 still.
I think that's going to be another good ball game. So I got them potentially both losing. If I had to pick one to go 5-0, I would choose the Kansas City Chiefs to go 5-0 versus the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to get not slapped, but I think they're going to lose in London this week.
Yeah, and both those teams have a bye in week 6. So this conversation could continue on to week 7 if they somehow both take care of business. I agree with you. I think the Jets win this week. Saints, I wouldn't be as surprised, but it's going to be a Monday Night Football game. You're giving Andy Reid extra time to prepare. That's a recipe for disaster. And Jets, I mean, they're looking shaky, coming off a gross loss there. We'll see how it goes international. See how the Vikings now travel international. By the way, guys, Europe games, London games tend to go very, very under. Saw it last year. Jacksonville Falcons, Jacksonville Buffalo, Chiefs in Miami and Germany, under. That's the lean on that game. But as far as the side, I do lean the Jets as well. So we'll see if the Vikings do take that loss here. And technically, it's a Sunday game all the way on the other side of the world. So it would be the one team to lose first as well. So you have that 26, 28-hour edge as well going for you with the Vikings.
There we go. But yeah, I got, like I said, Chiefs probably go 5-0. Vikings are going to get the L 4-1.
Before we get into free picks, survivor picks, long shot props for you guys coming up for week 5, we do have one more talking point. Davante Adams, all these trade rumors coming out. He's out in the mix. He's available. Who is going to go get him? Who is going to go make that move? Bunch of teams come to mind. Scott, I'm interested to see where you're looking at. Where would you just like to see him go? Where do you think would just be a good fit? Obviously, there's lots to figure out as far as cap space and return and everything else. Yeah. But who would you like there? And where would you want to see that move be made?
So, I mean, obviously, I'd like to see him. I just gave you my Super Bowl prediction for the Niners. I'd love to see him go there. Cap space. We just talked about it before the show. Can they get him? Will they have issues signing Purdy? Take that out of the window. Would I love to see him go to the Niners? Stacked with the Niners. And he wants, to me, Davante's going to want to go to a contender, right? He would also fit well, obviously, with the Chiefs with the Rashid Rice news. I'm pretty sure you're going to go there here in a second as well. So Niners and Chiefs look strong. I don't see him going to go to a Commanders team, as we spoke about earlier before the show as well, or a non-contender. But he is on the Raiders, so what do I know? You know what I mean? So...
yeah, it's definitely on a shit team already. And hey, Commanders are leading the division right now. You throw Davante Adams in the mix, I don't know, it could come out. I do like the move for Washington if they get aggressive here, try to give their young QB some more talent around them. They have all the cap space in the world. It makes a lot of sense from that. We also need to see if there's any type of a reunion for the 3 teams. Does he reunite in Green Bay? They could use some more weapons. Does he reunite with Aaron Rodgers? That offense was dreadful against the Broncos. Does he reunite with Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints? So you have the 3 reuniting possibilities. I don't know if any of those will happen. I do like, though, as far as most likely, I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills, just a team that just got exposed offensively, not being able to move the ball on an actual real defense against Baltimore. Their weapons last year, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, they lose them. It's time for them to make a move and get some things rolling back in the right direction. I think that is Davante Adams.
That's a good read right there. I like that read. I mean, that would do some big things for the Bills right there. So I like the read there. Let's go into the survivor pick. Unfortunately, your boy Pdub doesn't have one. The only survivor that's left is Mr. BA. So where are we leaning this week?
Yeah, see if we can keep it going on the Survivor, guys. 4-0 so far. And if you guys have been following along, it has been some sketchy pulls, some sketchy wins. The Bears, the Seahawks, the Steelers, and the Panthers. And I got one more sketchy one. After this, we're going to start looking at some chalk and going easy breezy down the stretch. the New York Giants against the Seahawks. Give me them. They're +6, 6.5 dogs. They're winning this game outright. The points don't matter. This Giants team is in the best spot of this entire football season. I talked about it with Carolina, how great of a spot it was for them with Vegas coming off the upset win against the Ravens, coming back from behind. Now you have this Giants team who played on Thursday Night Football. You had the Seahawks who played on Monday Night Football. So short week for Seattle, extra rest for the Giants, and the icing on the cake is it is followed by another short week for Seattle because they get the division rival reigning NFC champ Niners on Thursday Night Football the following week. You could not ask for a better spot for the Giants. Forget the points. That's my Week 5 Survivor pick, and they're going to go take us to 5-0 on the Survivor pool.
Hey, not a bad look there. Was unimpressed by Mike McDonald this week. I've talked about the Seahawks on almost every show. Obviously, the Lions carved the Seahawks up. There's some good tape there for the Giants to take a look at, and I hope you could move on. Like I said, he's been in the best position of any Survivor pool, I don't know, in the world. So, BA, get there, and let's move it on to Week 6 with that Survivor, and you'll be in the strongest position again of anyone. So
yeah, hopefully we can get a nice win there. Survivor-wise, Scott, long shot props. You're cashing on these. I am not. I'm still 0 for 4 weeks through. I need a long shot prop or I'm going to get shot because someone's going to come after me. Who you got for your long shot prop this week?
I went to him on Thursday night 2 weeks ago. I'm going back to the old man, Mr. A-Rod, in London. So he's going against the worst secondary in terms of pass defense. I mentioned it earlier, 274 yards per game. His biggest line is at over 275 passing yards, plus 370 in London. Yes, they historically have been low-scoring games, and it may be a low-scoring game. And I'm telling you guys, Aaron Rodgers in prime time, especially international, is going to want to put on a show for those people and let them know who is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Give me Aaron Rodgers over 275 yards passing, plus 370.
Yeah, I love the angle. Minnesota giving up a lot of yards. They have been forcing the turnovers, but hey, maybe that changes. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best in NFL history about taking care of the football, touchdown interception ratio. I like the read again with A-Rod. I'm coming in a little bit of a sketchy one, but why not? I'm 0 for 4. Might as well take a shot here to get in the green in Week 5. Bucky Irving, 2 touchdowns, plus 1,000 Thursday Night Football for the Bucs against the Falcons. Falcons just gave up over 130 rushing yards against the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, the Tampa Bay team loves to throw the football, but Bucky Irving gets a touchdown in last week. He started getting a lot more red zone touches. I like the play here to get some opportunities on Thursday Night Football. I definitely like him to score 1 touchdown. The 2, we're getting a little bit greedy, but that's why it's a long shot prop, plus 1,000, and that'll set us up to be not only in the green, but have some house money to play with for long shot props for the next 5 weeks.
Yep, remember that, guys. These are long shot props. So you're sprinkling some money there. Again, we hit 3, 4 in the season. We're positive. So 1 for Pdub, 0 for BA, but a lot of time left. So let's get that Bucky Irving 2 touchdowns plus 1,000, and you'll be well into the green.
Hopefully we can make that happen. We got one more segment. Before we do that, obviously we post NFL free picks onto the Instagram, on the Twitter, on YouTube, everything else. But let's go ahead and talk about the NFL free pick this week. Give you guys a little something here. Scott, why don't we mention what we are on here for this week free pick? What was it? Colts in week 3 and then Jaguars last week, 2 in a row. Let's go for 3 tonight or this week.
Yeah, we gave you guys a 5 to play last week on the house Jags. You should have seen the comments full with hate. So much hate. Why are you guys hating on us so much? Trying to make you guys money. Let's go. It's us versus the books. I always say it. We're not trying to take your money, trying to make you money. Don't hate on us. Roll with us. The San Francisco 49ers minus the 7.5. We're no wussies here. I didn't buy the half. I didn't do any of that. Minus 105. They're at home against the Cardinals. You know how high I am on the Niners here. I think they come in and they win by very easily, and they win by 2 touchdowns, just like they took care of the Patriots last week. And we had the Niners. They're going to do it again this week. Minus 7.5, San Francisco 49ers. Lock it.
Yeah, I love the read. We're lined up there. I mean, San Francisco's really taking care of business against Arizona. I mean, they just look like they might be competitive. Week 1 against Buffalo hasn't been the same since. And then, boom, they had that big game against the Rams. Last couple of weeks falling short. I do not like what we're seeing out of Arizona. And if Washington can cook them, I definitely expect this San Francisco offense to do the same. Lined up with you there. Scott, you just said it's us versus the books. Typically it is. But it's the Civil War game of the week, and this is me versus you. took the L last week. Someone's got to paint their nails. We forgot to tease that at the start of the show. What you got there, my man? What you got?
Dude, I didn't even think we had nail polish in the house. My ladies, my wife, my daughters, they always go to the nail salon. But apparently we got some blue in the house. So we're going blue. I'll be rocking this at the Padres game tonight with the painted blue nails. I don't know. I'm probably going to get a lot of questions, but that's okay. So let's get it started with you while I perform the first time I've ever painted my nails. So I don't know how this is going to look, but it's going to.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this. We're going to be making some good content out of this. So, Scott, I hope you have fun with that. I hope you get not too bullied tonight at the game. Hopefully your son with you doesn't get too bullied. Who knows? But I love that you're doing it. Good sport about it. Before we get into this week's Civil War, guys, that's Scott's painting over there. Looking good, man. Looking good. It's really your color.
It's really all over my skin, to be honest. It's really bad. Holy shit.
Man. I'd expect it better. Actually, it's probably a good thing you're not good at painting your own nails, right? That's a good sign. That's
yeah. If I was good, it'd be a little worrisome. You'd probably think I do it all the time.
Yeah, a little bit concerning. Before we get into this week's Civil War game, guys, we do need your help. I mean, this punishment, as fun as it is, we came up with it on our own. We want you guys to tell us what we're doing next week. So if you guys have any good, fun, fantasy punishment type things, comment them below. Let us know what you want us to be doing for who loses next week's Civil War. It's pretty even right now. We're 2-2 through 4 weeks. We're trying to make this more fun for you guys, give it a little bit more extra to tune in for. So please comment below any fun within reason. We're not trying to go to jail for you assholes in the comments, all right? But as Scott's finishing up there, I'll go ahead and introduce what we got going on here for week 5 Civil War game. We're going to a pretty good one. A couple of your historic NFL franchises, Cowboys, Steelers, a lot of Cowboys fans out there, a lot of Steelers fans out there. Cowboys coming off a sketchy win on Thursday Night Football against the Giants. Brandon Aubrey, Mr. Perfect, misses the kick, so we get the cover. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, a bunch of issues against the Colts. They end up dropping that game. Still, a good start to the season. They're 3-1. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, this is a must-win scenario. Commanders are in position to maybe start running away with the division. Ironically, they're favorites heading into this week. But I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me this defense that caused all types of problems for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's done a relatively good job of taking care of the football so far this season. Look for that Steelers pass rush to cause some issues. And their secondary, it's been all over the place. They haven't been getting to the quarterback as much as they used to. They're usually really good at forcing turnovers. Not so much the case so far in this 2024 campaign. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to win and cover here against the Dallas Cowboys.
So the Steelers, they looked good in the first 3 weeks, but it was the Falcons, the Browns, and the Chargers. They gave up, 10, 6, and 10 points. Now they give up 27 points to the Indianapolis Colts on Mr. Joe Flacco. I mean, A-Rich got hurt early on. So you give up 27 points to them. We know the Dallas Cowboys have a much stronger offense than the Colts, right? So a little bit of a question here on the Steelers. Are they for real when they play a real offense? I don't think, they are for real, but when they play the Cowboys, they're going to have some issues, right? And the Cowboys, yes, they're questionable, but I think this is the time they have to put their foot in the sand. They got to make a statement this week. They come out and they handle the Steelers. We're taking the spread out. This is going to be a real public play, by the way. I have a feeling the public's going to be all over the Cowboys plus the points. Cowboys plus the points. We're going to play it straight out. I got the Cowboys winning this game. Give me Dak. Come on. Let's get the Cowboys fan. I didn't realize this, but the blue for the Cowboys. Let's freaking go.
Those look pretty good. I don't know who you guys are riding with, but if you're riding the guy with the painted nails, I don't know. That was one of the funnier breakdowns I've ever seen. You're talking with your hands a little bit, and you had the nail. Oh man, that made my day right there. Thank you for that. Shout out Caleb Williams. He helped make my day today.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. This is for you, man. This is because you beat the Rams last week. I guess I got to show a little respect for the man because he got the dub. But give me the Cowboys this week, and let's get that punishment going the other way. So let us know in the comments what you guys want to see. I want to see him aggressive. Make him stand on a street corner in his boxers or a Speedo, holding a sign. I suck at sports betting. Let's be aggressive with these guys because I'm grabbing the dub this week. I'm not doing it.
Get creative, guys. Let us know in the comments below. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys are having as much fun with these as we are. And big weeks back to back. 6-0 last NFL Sunday, week 4 NFL Sunday, 7 6-0-1. So back-to-back sweeps. Things are getting red hot on these NFL Sundays. MLB playoffs in full swing. Make sure you don't miss out. A lot more coming for you guys content-wise, and we're cashing bets all over the place. So if you're not with us, you're against us, and that's a bad position to be in.
That's right, baby. And let's go, Pdub
Nation.
We're out.